I remember when I brought up that time that I said someone said Videl should have beaten Majin Buu. A couple of videos ago, a couple of streams ago, I told you guys, he had a gripe with how Videl was treated in this arc.
Pigtail wearing, head scissor flipping, tough badass crime fighter Videl. How did she go from badass newcomer of the year, a human who had tons of potential and power and could have been written to bring humans back into relevance in Dragon Ball? How did she go from
That's
that
possible.
to the sidelined, stay-at-home, useless character? The mother and wife development of her character weren't the bad things.
So actually, on this part so far, I agree. I don't like that Videl is basically just a typical housewife. I'll say that. I'm for her becoming a wife for sure, but I don't like how she like lost all motivation. That wasn't even consistent with her character at one point. It's kind of like it's not even the same girl anymore. It's kind of tough to look at. Not that she shouldn't be a mother and wife, but she's just not remotely the same character anymore. And it's kind of like, huh, what the like anybody could have been Videl.
These are important steps in any person's role. Something else happened to Videl, something which ruined her completely. The daughter of Mr. Satan. What could possibly go wrong? Being introduced as a crime fighter, Videl started the events of the Buu saga off with a bang by appearing as a tough, intimidating-looking street fighter with no pigtails.
I actually did love her
could
character
kick
in
the
other parts.
goddamn head off a bank robber. She was not afraid of the intense action. She had the strength and skill to back it up. What could possibly go wrong? She was raised with all the fame surrounding her.
Yeah, she was strong for
Mr.
civilian
Satan
sake, for
in all
sure.
his glory after beating Cell. She always knew something was up about that, but she was basically living in her father's glory, and deep down, she hated it. This girl has her pride, has her dignity, and can't be fooled. Let me just say that it's okay for a character in Dragon Ball to be a side character. There's nothing wrong with side characters, and there's nothing wrong with non-fighter characters.
Thank you. I'm glad he said it. Hey, so far, 2 of 2. I actually agree with this as well. But like the idea that some Dragon Ball fans really think like every different character should have their own designated arc where they always win or some shit. Piccolo should have beat Frieza in a second form, and then Vegeta should have beat Cell. But then if he doesn't, then Gohan should have. And then if Gohan doesn't, everyone does with a fantastic group Turtle Hermit Kamehameha plus Ultra. Everyone can't win, bro. Okay? Like I promise you, that sounds good in your head, but I always ask whenever you change the story, before you die on that hill, what do you write next? And if you just have every character in every Z fighter just beating every main antagonist in history, let alone rewriting it as such, you know how shit the story is if like Piccolo just cucks Frieza? This is what I be saying. Some niggas need to be side characters, bro.
They can have their importance, be useful, and be relatable in other ways. But heck, when you start off as an awesome ass-kicking female character, we damn sure expect that concept to remain. And there better be a good enough bloody reason why she doesn't do jack shit later on. Well, there is kind of a reason, right? Marriage and parental responsibilities. She took those things seriously and with loyalty.
Okay.
You can't deny that. You'll find out in this video why it's not Videl's fault, it's the writer's fault.
Oh.
Let me tell you right now the purpose of Videl's character.
So the character of Videl choosing to be a responsible mother and wife, that's not her fault. That's the writer's fault. I gotta see what you mean by that, because she is in line to do that. I think it's just a bit drastic. Like I said earlier, because I know, Sage, weren't you on this side? No. I'm my own man. Like I said, I can understand her becoming a more grounded character because of that, but Goku's a father, whether you think he's good or bad. Vegeta's a father, whether you think he's good or bad. Hell, Piccolo's a father for some of you guys. They all can still relatively, you know? So I don't need to explain that, bro.
A side story love interest arc for Gohan. That is it. Videl is goddamn Gohan DLC. And it's so pitiful how Akira Toriyama can introduce a human female with all of the right qualities of being an awesome character, even at the point of the oversaturated Buu saga, to just have the plug pulled. Or heck, not even pull the plug, literally set up to eventually be an extra on the character sheet of Gohan. Yes, it's Gohan's time, with Videl as the DLC. Videl is not standalone, and you know something, guys? She could have been. And I know many of you feel the same way.
Let's hear it.
She's kicking bad guys' asses without knowing what the heck he is, without flying, just using her goddamn skill and initiative. And she's showing progression by wanting to learn the basics of these techniques. It's damn awesome, and I love that part of the Buu saga, or World Tournament saga.
Yeah, I think personally for me, to not be a hypocrite, if I were to have Videl's character move on, I would always still have her want her desire to become stronger. I don't like that her desire of a fighter is essentially gone. Now, I don't know about standalone without Gohan. I don't know where he's going with this, but in terms of with Gohan even, oh yeah, that would even potentially happen. have Gohan staying on his toes and Pan potentially being good, because while training would never be their forte on some Goku shit, Videl would still desire to become stronger. So she would be like, yo, when we had a time, yo, family feuds, how we flying type shit. So I feel like that could have been cool. Videl just loses all desire of fighting. It's not that she even dives into her responsibility. She just like loses the desire of fighting in its entirety. And that's just kind of like, like even with 18, you can kind of expect that because 18 was born that way. Gohan himself, ironically, you can expect that because like almost echo the same thing. He was born into this shit, but Videl had a desire for it and it's gone now. I feel like if you at least showed her wanting to be stronger versus completely not wanting it, I feel like that would be better.
Or whatever, because it brought Dragon Ball back to basics where everything had been going crazy power-wise in the Cell games. It made me feel like characters can start from scratch and still get good screen time that may amount to something. I always felt Videl had this fire to achieve her goals, or to be a super strong fighter. It seemed like it was part of her being. Of course, she grew up with her dad's false achievements, so she always trained hard to be the best she could be in her own way. She already started to break free of her dad, and was stronger than him, and that was all the drive her character needed to be a successful character in the long run. Videl is a favorite by many fans. If only Akira Toriyama had the idea and guts to go along with the character all along. It seemed
Videl's
like
everybody's favorite.
She just switched. Her personality swapped faster than launch sneezing. She went from badass, strong, assertive fighter to sweet little princess who was head over heels for Gohan in a second. Okay, don't get me wrong.
You don't like
she
that?
done that for him behind closed doors, but damn man, way to butcher her momentum. Even with that short hairstyle, she was still pretty cool. It kept her image fresh.
Wait, so you don't like Videl crushing on Gohan? That was actually like one of the better parts of the arc. Videl crushing on Gohan was like the most adorable in Dragon Ball. I think that was the most like adorable little ass couple. Then even like a Goku Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball, I would even argue it's up there with that. Like it's arguably like the favorite one outside of maybe Vegeta Bulma, because obviously Vegeta and Bulma are just more iconic. But like, what? Huh?
Say when Videl lost the pigtails, she lost her spark, but hey, she had some epic move names too. Head Scissor Rush, Eagle Kick, Hawk Arrow.
Lost her spark.
The pigtails tournament, she fought Bobby's henchman Spopovich, and despite her getting beaten nearly to death, there was a more important message here. Not that Gohan cared for her, but in terms of her fighter spirit, Videl showed us that she is tough as nails. She will never give up. I think she actually broke his neck too. She did pretty well and should never be underestimated. You know, the more I think about it, when she developed the ability to utilize her ki a little, I'd say she became stronger than Chi-Chi, making her actually the strongest female human alive. That's a good...
I mean, I almost did some dickhead shit. I won't do 18. I almost was an asshole. Let me not do that.
Title.
She's an android, so yeah.
She was only just starting to develop her power.
But if you play Xenoverse, actually.
But when did the downfall happen? Right after that. Then it became the Saiyan show once again. No place for Videl, no place for humans. Stand back and let the big bad Saiyans do the work. Yeah, screw Namekians, screw humans. Saiyan time, fusions, oh yeah. Turn to chocolate, baby. And this was it. That was literally it.
But she should. She just learned how to fly. And she lost to Spopovich. You want her to f***ing fight Majin Buu? Are we serious? What? Yeah, she shouldn't. No, stay at home. What are we doing? You want to say the thematics of that scene was about more Videl than Gohan, which I completely disagree with. It's definitely more about Gohan being pissed off, hence why the next scene was about Gohan being pissed off, and then the following scene was about Gohan not had training. But that's the point. If your whole takeaway from Videl versus Spopovich was Videl has guts, a better way to write this is, yeah, you have guts, Videl, but there's no way in fuck we're allowing you to pull up right now. And then she should take that, get hurt by it, and then train and ball up, and then maybe she even has a potential moment. But her pulling up with these is she'd die.
Momentum, all the potential to grow, just to suddenly be thrown out like trash. Like leftover sausage rolls at an ungrateful birthday party.
That would literally be her.
It was extremely...
You're doing all this, and this would literally be her. She would genuinely turn into a chocolate bar.
Disappointing. Even to this day, Videl gets some video game appearances, and it's really awesome to see how much love Videl gets, how fans want her to be more recognized amongst the ever-expanding world of Dragon Ball and crazy powers. The story of Videl can be described as a writer's tease, grabbing the fans' attention, allowing us to grow and understand the background of Videl, playing with our feelings, giving her some progression, then just to shut the the door on that awesome character and pretend like it never happened. Well, it did happen. It was there. And Akira Toriyama, Toei, whatever, they all blew it. She could have been the new protagonist.
I think you're overrating her a little bit now. She didn't have that much motion going on.
I really think she would have done well in that role, and for the long run. One who was just learning about ki and understanding what Saiyans were. She was becoming much more friendlier as time progressed. She was the perfect character to relate and attach to. One in school, and when not in school, trying to do the right thing by stopping bad people. Strong, fast, leadership qualities, trying to earn her own respect, and to fight her way out of her father's shadow. And it changed it up completely by having the female as the fighter instead. In a nutshell, what the hell happened to Videl? It wasn't the love story with Gohan.
She was in like she was like the strongest arc.
It wasn't the short hair. It wasn't the beatdown by Spopovich. It was the goddamn right in direction. Slowly transitioning her from strong standalone character to Gohan's sidekick. In life and in battle. It's all about Gohan doesn't like fighting. Gohan doesn't have time to train. Gohan can't do this. Gohan can't do that. What about Videl? She liked fighting. She used to train with a...
This is what I talk about when I say we all want other characters to be great. Looking at the story of Dragon Ball, looking at the story of the Buu saga and go, okay, you know, you got these two kid prodigy Super Saiyans. You got Goku who's finally touching down to Earth. You got Vegeta who's starting to spiral back into the he once was because the Goku touched down to Earth. You got Gohan who's pretty fucking rusty but supposed to be the main character to a lot of people. If anything, definitely the protector of Earth. I would agree on that second part. Yeah, Piccolo who's still around. You have Krillin who's still around. How are they doing? How's their life? But what about Videl? Just sounds crazy. The character was introduced for a reason. And I would have adored if over time they want to progress Videl. I'm with him there 1000%. But serious plot points for Videl here, I'm gonna be honest, it would have just sounded like filler. It would have just seemed like filler if among finding Deborah, we're getting cutaways to Videl learning how to fly and shit. Those stories need to be told in separate stories, in separate arcs. You don't need the Buu arc to be even more clusterfuck than it already is.
Mean look in her eye. I beat the crap out of bad guys. What about Videl? When will she get time to train again? When will Gohan have the baby so Videl can go and develop her powers and become a hero on her own? What about Videl, writers? Even Bulma has fed important roles in Dragon Ball Super. All Videl gets is offering her services for Pan Saiyan potential in the womb to give Goku even more hype. You call that a good...
Obama's been doing it for years,
in
but
Mr.
fair enough.
Satan's words, that scene was a
but I pretty much agree with him on Super Dose, though.
Cool Videl moment of being tricked. It was superficial. She was a spare part. Nothing more. In fact, it wasn't even Videl. It was Pan, technically. But hey, this is Dragon Ball Super we're talking about. The show with 0 sense and 0 passion. Videl became a...
Alright, you might be right on that one. Alright, if you got something, well, the 0 sense one, we could debate. The 0 passion one, I 1000% agree with. Yeah, fair enough.
A vessel for the true savior in that moment. And don't think Dragon Ball GT gets off that easy. That's as equal as Z and Super.
Did get into selling toys.
But at least in GT, she geared up in the Great Saiyan Woman outfit to go and fight Super 17. Despite not getting there on time, and also showing up to the Sin Shenron fight, you can't deny this girl's heart. Potential completely wasted. I always thought Videl deserved an arc where she would make her father proud and make him realize his own bullshit by her being a real hero and doing something so important that brings actual prestige to the family name.
Okay, I ain't gonna lie, he scared the shit out of me. I was like, make your father proud. He already is proud of her. But if you're talking about an arc where Videl, or even a moment where Videl makes Hercule like not want to continue being a liar, I could see that. But then that kind of like, I don't know if I want that though, because I ain't gonna lie, Hercule being fucking fraud is like kind of awesome. Like getting rid of fraud Hercule, it sounds like one of those fanficky ass things that you will never know what you had till it's gone. Because once Hercule's done being a fraud, he's irrelevant. Like once Hercule's done being a fraud, you don't care about the character anymore. He gets booed by the whole verse. Maybe you start trying to train him to make him become legitimate, but then you're telling me that I have to buy into the Hercule Videl tournament arc or whatever. That just doesn't even feel like Dragon Ball at that point. It's just like a whole different anime. As someone mentioned, he's a comedy character, but taking away Dragon Ball's arguably most comedic character of all time, making him a serious character with, and I put words in your mouth in terms of how you would build that character back up. The floor is if you just want this comedy character to just have a serious moment and then either revert to back what he's doing all along, which you would then complain about. He just becomes obsolete because he knows he's a fraud, so he's just like retires or something. At that point, Hercule just doesn't matter to the story. Why would you ever want to talk to Hercule again unless you wanted to talk to Majin Buu? But then he would just be the guy that's sitting next to Majin Buu. He'd be no more relevant than the turtle at that point.
Videl is goddamn Gohan DLC.
Said
No
it
matter
3
how
times.
strong her character was portrayed as a good mum, a good wife, we cannot deny the fact is that by the writers linking her to Gohan, it completely destroyed her serious fighting storyline.
Yo, what
Her
the fuck is this
character
picture?
has become comfortable now, nice and complacent on the side, whilst all the excited kids can now witness Super Saiyan Purple Neon in the next episode of Dragon Ball Super. Imagine Videl kept pursuing her strength and was written to be a super strong warrior. She could have been replacing Master Roshi in the Tournament of Power, but we all know in Dragon Ball Super what the consistency of power creeps are like.
Well, all right then. Again, like I said, he didn't directly say it, but so fair enough. I put words into his mouth in the past for the OG viewers. Wanting Videl to go with Gohan and Vegeta and Dragon Ball and Goku, go with those three to the ship to fight the lackeys even is crazy, or to fight Deborah is crazy. It's like he literally wants Videl to beat Deborah or Boo or some shit. I don't see it at all. Chat was spamming protagonist. I must have missed when he said it. But he might even have called her the main protagonist or something. I didn't hear it, so fair enough. I don't feel like going back. I think the main purpose of this recording is I don't think side characters need to always be the guy. Y'all consistently, hell, Trunks is on my screen right now. There's some people that think Trunks and Goten should be cooking. There's like every side character doesn't need a designated arc, designated thing, like, unless the series is that long. But you're telling me amidst the Boo saga, there should be some Videl shit going on? Or like amidst the Tournament of Power, we should be like, yeah, Videl tap in. Like, I know. Now, in terms of build up, I agree with him. You can build these things up. I'm with, like, for people that are concerned about Goten and Trunks, oh yeah, you should have been building them up post the Boo saga. I understand they're kids, they're gonna make several mistakes. I was thinking about debating this one guy in my comment section, and he was mad at the take that I had about Gohan being arrogant against Boo, saying that he should have never done that considering the severity of it. And I told him, overconfidence being the mistake is the difference. Chat, you'll never know when you are overconfident in something until you lose control of it. If you're blowing somebody out in 2K by 30, you don't know that, all right, bro, I'm doing too much. I'm wilding. I need to stop trying to throw stealth, shoot greens with my eyes closed, or full courts with Shaq until you're down 5, until you're only up 10 type shit. So I was like, I understand what you're saying. No. So I'm saying that to say, when it comes to like Trunks and Goten, yeah, it'd be nice if Goten had an independent arc at some point in time. I still agree that he's a fumbled character. But immediately after the Boo saga, they still kids. Now, should they be aging? Yes. That's annoying. I will say that. Them not aging, no disputes there. But for the people that no time skip involved think that Goten and Trunks just should have, after the arc, taken fighting seriously or some other bullshit, or like had a passion, like, no, they don't. They're kids. Kids will do the badass shit they did yesterday tomorrow, no matter how serious it was, because they don't even know how serious shit is. Even if, oh my God, daddy hurt, or even, hell, in this verse, even if daddy died, he's back tomorrow, he'll be back the next day. Mink, like, come on, bro. what are we doing? I said this at the end of the Gohan video. I said this at the end of the Boo saga video reaction. I'm gonna say it at the end of this one too. Yo, sometimes niggas are the side character for a reason. Take care and stay blessed. Side characters are side characters for a reason. You guys have a nice day.